Hero balance in Overwatch does not really matter that much. This is something you might have heard me say a fair few times during my podcast in the last little while. But most of the time, I kind of just assumed that people would understand what I mean by that when I said it. It was more of an offhanded remark than something that I bothered to really go in depth about. So today, I want to elaborate on that exact thing. Why do I not believe that hero balance is of uttermost importance in Overwatch? Well, think of what we're all participating in. It sounds really stupid to begin an argument like this at first, but we're playing a video game. At the end of the day, people don't play games that only take skill and are balanced, they play games that are fun. I believe it was Fredo who said on Twitter that games that are balanced by pro players only are also played by pro players only. And I'm inclined to agree with that. There are probably many reasons why the game WildStar has failed that I'm not aware of, but looking back at their marketing, labeling everything in their game as hardcore, I could assume that this turned off the most profitable market that's out there: the average player. The average player is not after some super difficult experience that challenges them on every step of the way. They are looking for something that is fun. And that fun should, ideally, extend to every part of the game. It should be fun from a core gameplay perspective. It should be fun from a gameplay loop perspective. It should be fun from a progression and improvement perspective. If your video game is not fun at the end of the day, then everything else really doesn't matter. You're likely to stagnate in a small market that caters to players looking for that experience, or you never make your product profitable in the first place. But Cliff, imbalance makes games unfun. And yeah, you are not wrong with that. But consider the following. Would you say that the K9 unit in Call of Duty is overpowered? What about the one-shot body shot sniper, the 6km shotgun, the grenade launcher? When Black Ops 4 launched, I tweeted out about how I prefer crowd control over everything one-shotting me all the time, because CC allows the designers to keep otherwise broken abilities in check by giving us counterplay. If done well, of course. When I tweeted about that, somebody got in a discussion with one of my subscribers about how snipers have to one-shot body shot players, or else they wouldn't be viable. That is kind of insane to think about for me as an Overwatch player. If Widowmaker one-shot body shot players, we'd be in an uproar about that. In fact, we were when she was able to one-shot body shot Tracer, so she got nerfed. As much as Overwatch is getting this label of a casual game, our community in large really cares about skillful gameplay and risk-reward ratios. Not everyone does, of course, but it is something we discuss virtually all the time. But Black Ops is not trying to achieve that. It's not aiming to be a hyper-competitive, well-balanced experience. Instead, they are taking a if everything is overpowered, nothing is overpowered kind of approach. What does it really matter when you get one shot by a K9 unit? You respawn almost instantly and can do the same bullshit to anyone else. Borderline one-shot melee hits, explosives, very short time to kill, and all the special abilities in the game are meant to make you feel like a super soldier. And they absolutely succeed in making you feel like one. You can dumpster others as much as they dumpster you with things that, in other games, would be broken and grossly overpowered. So now let's take a look at Overwatch. What is it really trying to achieve? At the end of the day, it wants to deliver on a satisfying core gameplay loop. And winning really is not part of that if you ask me. I mean, most of the people that I come across would rather lose playing a fun hero than winning when playing a character they hate. What the developers probably care more about is making Tracer feel like Tracer. They want her to be distinctively different from any other hero in the game, so that when you pick her, or when you get her in Mystery Heroes, you feel like you are playing Tracer, and that is supposed to feel good to you. The developers know that by now what we really care about is not overall balance. We want our heroes to feel good and be viable. There are tons and tons of sub-communities in our general Overwatch community who are constantly arguing about how and why certain characters should be buffed and nerfed. And the underlying incentive is not to create an overall balanced game, because realistically, most of us are not capable of grasping onto the ramifications that our suggestions have. How hero changes can ripple down and affect things we never took into consideration. It is my belief that the only way to make every hero viable is by homogenizing them. You know how Bastion was too much of a situational pick in the eyes of the developers, and now he's more of a bootleg Soldier 76? If you ask me, this would have to happen to the entire roster. The developers may say that they want soft counters over hard counters, but realistically, that's complete bullshit. Heroes absolutely hard count each other on many occasions, and the only way to overcome that is by either having a better team surrounding whatever is subject to set countering, or by completely outplaying your counter on a ratio of Grandmaster to Platinum. The reason Overwatch is so fun is because the characters are so different, and the reason that Overwatch feels so poorly balanced is also because the characters are so different. Making something more viable will always make something else less viable. And the only way to stop that from happening is by, in essence, making every hero a much more boring version of themselves. Maybe even to the point of us saying, where's the difference? The best thing I believe the developers can attempt is trying to create a scenario where every hero's viability is almost entirely dependent on the map, which is a state in the game we have had for short periods of time. That still won't make the game feel balanced, as some heroes can be played more universally on most of the maps versus others that only shine on a few of them. But I believe that this is the best middle ground they can find in balancing the game without making it completely unfun. It really sucks to see Sombra in every match because having your abilities taken away in a game that is all about your abilities is one of the worst feelings ever. But I think it's fine for her to have a place on maps like Volskaya and Temple of Anubis. Obviously, there will always be people who disagree with that sentiment. We talked about that earlier. As a Zenyatta player, it is in my best interest to want Zenyatta to be viable as much as possible because that's one of my favorite heroes. I am very clearly biased in his favor, and I will always be upset when the developers decide to nerf him for reasons that I disagree with. And that's the fight they're fighting at all times, trying to balance the game while most of us shout in their general direction about how we want our favorites to not be left behind. But this is also why I don't believe balance to be anywhere near as important as fun, because most players are not gonna give a rat's ass about how unbalanced the game is as long as they have fun playing their favorite heroes. And that is ultimately what makes the bulk of the player base stick around. You're not gonna see me playing Overwatch religiously if I have to play Moira all the time, but if I'm allowed to play Ana without getting screwed, yeah, I'm gonna be glued to my monitor. It's not just because there's more money to be made in the casual player market or anything like that, but also because video games, by nature, have to be fun. And trust me, I used to see this very differently. Balance, to me, was the be-all and end-all when it comes to competitive games. But eventually I realized that, after taking a step back, I still play Overwatch not because I feel that competitive is great, but because I enjoy playing different heroes for how fun they are. But hey, that's just my perspective on the whole matter. Did I overlook something? Are you disagreeing with that sentiment? Feel free to sound off down in the comment section below. But until then, thank you everybody so much for watching. Don't forget to drop me a like on your way out if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope to see you guys next time.